is Jesus? That is the question that each of us must answer. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Jesus has always existed as God in absolute perfection. At the appointed time in history, he entered our world as a baby, taking on a human body and a human nature, becoming both fully God and fully man. Jesus is unique and beyond our deepest thoughts. Even his name means Savior. The earthly life of Jesus is told in the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in the Bible. These 4 books are called Gospels, which means good news. These 4 books are the historical record of who Jesus is and what he has done. Jesus went from place to place, teaching and performing miracles. He healed people of diseases and cast out demons. Often his followers were astonished at the amazing things he said and did. When his disciples walked with Jesus, they encountered a man unlike anyone they had ever met. He was fearless and in total control of every situation they faced. He stood up to the self-important and self-righteous religious leaders and put them in their place. And when they threatened him, he didn't flinch. In fact, he seemed to delight in provoking the Pharisees by healing on the Sabbath. Nothing was impossible for him. He was strong and in control, but also compassionate. He has the ability to look right into your inner soul and see all the ugliness there and still love you. He forgave sinners. No prophet ever did that. His holiness makes people want to turn to him from their unrighteousness and live differently. He's the perfect embodiment of love, justice, holiness, and righteousness. Jesus said of himself, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, and to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord." He taught with authority. Jesus said, "And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. This is the first commandment. And the second like it is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself." The most important thing that Jesus came to do was to provide the only way for human beings to have their sins forgiven by God and to come into relationship with their Creator. Jesus had the courage to embark on a rescue mission that required his death, a brutal crucifixion on a Roman cross. As he gave up his life, he proclaimed, "It is finished." 3 days later, he rose from the dead. His resurrection proved his deity and everything he claimed. Those who believe in him are set free from sin and death. For the death that he died to sin once for all. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He who believes in him is not condemned, but he who does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. What Jesus was to those who were alive when he walked on earth 2,000 years ago, he is to his followers now. The Bible declares that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. In our days, Jesus still holds out the offer of sins forgiven and reconciliation with our Creator. Yet he warns that today is the day of salvation, for we're not promised tomorrow. One day, Jesus will come back to earth for judgment on those who have rejected him.